As many students face criticism and even punishment for using artificial intelligence tools like ChatGPT for assignments, new reporting shows a growing number of instructors using the same programs. A survey from Titan Partners found from spring of 2023 to spring of 2024, the percentage of instructors who say they regularly use generative AI tools rose from 8 to 36%. Now, students at several universities are sharing their frustration, calling their professors' usage hypocritical, and at least in one case, demanding their tuition money back. Joining me is the author of this piece, New York Times technology reporter Kashmir Hill. Thank you so much for being here. How exactly are college instructors using AI?
So using it in a lot of different ways. They're using it to prepare course materials like notes and slide presentations. They're using it to grade students' work. And they're also creating custom chatbots trained on their course material that can act as tutors or kind of teaching assistants that their students can talk to.
Is there a sort of a ranking system of what students you talk to find to be, okay, this is relatively harmless. If you're going to use it for some study guides, that's fine, but not to grade my end of semester essay?
Yeah, I mean, there was a range of student reactions. Some students just feel it's hypocritical at all for professors to be using AI, especially if they don't disclose it to create course materials. But what really offended students was that they would put in the work to write a paper and their professor wasn't reading it and just giving them the feedback that ChatGPT generated.
It felt like a slap in the face. And one of the students you talked to actually asking for tuition money back?
Yes, this is a senior at Northeastern, and her business professor was using ChatGPT to write lecture notes, it looked like, and he had used an AI program to create his slide presentations. Thus, it had photos that were AI generated with extra body parts. There were misspellings, and she felt really upset about this and filed a complaint with Northeastern and said she wanted her money back for that course. The tuition for that course was around $8,000.
And has that been adjudicated yet? Do we know the outcome?
Yes, she found out shortly after graduation that she was not getting her money back. And I talked to the professor, and he was very contrite about the episode. He said he hadn't just had these tools, generate his lesson plan. He had uploaded his kind of course notes and files from past years he's taught the class, and he wanted to freshen up the look. And he didn't look at the output from the systems and really review it closely and didn't realize some of the mistakes that it had made.
What else are you hearing from teachers defending this? And what about universities? Do they have a say? Do they have an opinion?
It really varies from university to university. It's so new and emerging that many of them don't have rules yet for students, let alone faculty, to guide them.
Or maybe even methods to detect.
Right. I mean, a lot of schools do have these AI detectors for student work, but I did hear that they don't always work very well, and there'll be false positives where they say something was written by AI when it wasn't. So a lot of professors told me they don't like to use those tools.
Are there any ways in which students told you they would be comfortable with their professors or instructors using AI?
Yeah, I mean, there's such a vast reaction out there. I think that they would be comfortable if they know it's being used. What professor said is, students are probably going to be using AI in the workplace, and so they think it's important to start incorporating it into the university experience so they know the right way to use it and have a kind of ethical compass when it comes to AI. But there's something students really don't like. One student said that her professor, instead of kind of putting a lecture online for them to watch, he had uploaded course materials to one of these AI tools that will create a podcast of two fake people talking to each other. And that's what she was expected to listen to. And she just felt like, this is not what I'm paying for.
Wow. We have a few seconds left. Anything else you want to leave us with in terms of your reporting?
I think the two main takeaways that I got about the right way to use AI, if you're a professor, is to disclose to students how you're using it and to review what the AI is creating, because these systems do make mistakes. So what it spits out is not going to be perfect. Don't rely on it.
Wow. Kashmir Hill, thank you so much.
My pleasure.